If you simply wake up and become consciously aware about everything you do, your life will be different. First of all, you wake up like as in a dream, and then you can use your intention to shape your reality. But this is hard to do because we repeat stuff. Loads of people are repeating stuff, and that includes you and me as well. And what gets repeated will often be ignored because it becomes familiar. But what happens when we really wake up and try to understand how the universe works, or how can we better improve our lives? Then that can really change us. That can really bring some awareness into our lives. And I'm not talking about surface awareness, no, about living a completely new life. And I'm talking precisely about experiences and be surrounded by the best and live like the best. What do you say? Because I think awareness is the name of the game. And in today's video, we're gonna go over some stuff I came up with some parts. We're gonna go over them and trying to understand how we can better play this game called life. And the subject we have today is you will succeed when you wake up. And of course, success means everything you want it to mean. Part 1, reality is a dream with a lag. Point number 1, the law of balance. The law of balance is a fundamental principle stating that all things in the universe naturally seek a state of equilibrium. It bridges multiple disciplines governing the self-correcting forces of nature, physical systems, and human well-being, demanding that extreme inevitability swings back to center. This is the fundamental law in nature. The universe runs by this law. We have the stars, the whole galaxy, and the whole other galaxies that they follow a certain shape. If we come down from the scale of galaxies down to the atom or down to the flowers, we see the golden ratio in flowers. We see they follow a certain order, or even the snowflake, right, at the microscope. There is perfection in all of these. They all seek a state of balance, a state of beauty, in other words. And so we can make use of this law to improve our lives, right? But we gotta be in harmony with it. That's why it's the law of harmony or balance in a way, you know? One way of flowing through life with this law so you can get the best things in your life is by being in a state of non-resistance. And you gotta do this precisely when things don't go as planned. Your subconscious mind continuously seeks a balance between your internal identity and your external circumstances. If your deeply held beliefs don't match your life, your mind will unconsciously adjust your reality or rewrite your beliefs to create equilibrium. I'm talking about your self-image and your actions, because your actions will reinforce the self-image. It's the only way. That means your self-image will not change. This means that your self-image will not want to change, but will change your actions to match that self-image. This is why change is hard for most people. And the easiest way to change your beliefs is to simply choose something new, choose to believe something new, and then find evidence for that, but follow through with action. This is how you change. You don't have to dig through past traumas or to know your past or when and how the event took place. You can do that, that's fine. But you can simply choose to live in a new world by demanding the best from yourself and from the world. And you'll have to flow with the course of events, and you will have to see everything bad, labeling it as bad in a good light, right? So let's see how we can better make use of this law of balance. Point number 2, in the restoring of balance, there will rarely be instant balancing acts and events. Just like when you plant a seed, it will take time. Now you gotta be patient a bit, how you go about this, right? Because you have your own goals and you try to make them happen, but they will happen by themselves, which people call manifestation, but it shouldn't be like that, like you trying to force stuff. Just let it flow, but be decisive in your visualization, in how you see things, in how you want to go about the process, I'm saying, right? So employ your visualization and follow through on the process. If you write a book, see the chapter completely. If you are studying for something, see yourself studying and understanding. So always follow the next step in the process. That's how you best visualize. This is the best way. Don't go for the final result because you will have trouble achieving it. First, come up with a plan of how you see fit, see yourself, your skill, your knowledge, and how to use that, then follow through with action. But don't shoot too much. Don't shoot for the end goal in your visualization, I'm saying, but shoot for the next events in the process of you getting what you want. And when this happens, you will encounter some events. Some will be good, some will be bad, but you will encounter events. Remember this. And what happens here is that reality rearranges itself for you so you can get what you want, right? If one way doesn't work, it's not because there is no balance or stuff. No, there will be balance. Even a bad event represents balance because reality rearranges. And there is nothing bad in there. It's just your perception of it, your learned perception of it. Okay, but if that implies pain, that's fine. It could be seen as bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad in the end. Because remember, everything rearranges itself so you can get what you want. So I'm saying, in this process of encountering events, make sure you hold your vision clearly. What vision? The next step in the process. That's what you gotta focus on. And the more you see this, the more you encounter events, be sure your thing is coming and your business or your stuff will work, will succeed, will come out in the end eventually. Because if you don't stop and you do your best, you will fucking succeed. So remember here, point number 2, there will rarely be instant balancing acts. It's not gonna be instant because you're dealing with cause and effect, and also the principle of growth. When you have a seed and you try to make it grow by watering it and so on, So it's all a process. Just stick with it and visualize the next step in your process of achieving that thing you want. Now, one thing you need to understand here is the way to go against the law of balance is by acting deliberately against the flow of events. If something happens, you try to make it better, while the layer of perfection, as I call it, in the quantum field, if I can put it like that, the unseen, metaphysics, is trying to bring you the optimal experience by following the path of least resistance, which is something you must follow. Follow the path of least resistance. It will take you to your best life. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to ask. You simply have to be and choose. That's the secret. Don't try to make stuff happen. Let stuff happen to you. But in this process, please choose and only choose the best. Come up with a plan, do your best. In the process, you will see if that plan is the right plan for you. If not, change it. That's perfectly fine. But do something. Take action and choose. Okay, so the takeaway here being, don't go against the flow. Just go with it and let yourself be surprised. Point number 3. Considering your goal, time is required and a deadline is not needed because you're dealing with the law of balance. When you have multiple things that need to come together, you cannot foresee the ripples of your smallest insignificant act. This means that you will have to do your very best, and when you have to do something and you don't do it, you failed. That's why do everything you can with what you have on your current plane, right? In your current situation, in your current existence, with everything you're surrounded. That's the key of taking yourself to the next level. There is no other way around. You cannot jump, right? You cannot quantum leap unless you do something really spectacular and get yourself there by a miracle or something. But you can create your own miracles. It's just that they take place a bit slower. It's fine. It can happen overnight, but you want to do it consciously. You want to get something you want, and you are making it happen. Not with your hands, but with your brain, with your knowledge, with your magnetism, with who you are. So you don't need a deadline on here. You don't need a deadline because you don't know how long it's gonna take. It can happen overnight. It can happen in 2 years. But you gotta keep at it. You gotta work your ass. And the fundamental idea here is that when you have multiple things coming together, you cannot foresee how they should or how they must come together to create a perfect synchronicity so you can get what you want. You cannot see how that would happen, how that would be possible. This is why you need to understand how the universe works. For you to be here and to listen to this video, millions of years of evolution, of synchronicities, of things taking place at the right time had to be made possible. How can you explain that? Simply by this principle. You have the tension and you have the resolution, the desire and the fulfillment of your desire. The law of balance will seek to match the two. If you have a tension, you become the seed, and then the solution or the growth of that seed will take place. This is the law of nature, will restore equilibrium. So don't try to go against the flow of events, just flow with it. That's why it's called the flow, right? Be an observer. Detach. And one more thing here, don't set deadlines. Work, because things can happen far earlier than your set deadline. It's good to understand you need to have a deadline, but what if you outwork yourself? What if you do things even better than you expected and they turn out to be far more than you've ever conceived of? So let things happen and just do your best simply and wait patiently. Not many people know it though. Part 2, the path for you to follow. Point number 1. There are infinite possibilities for you to go through, and the universe is infinite potential. The criterion for a set path lies in attention and intention, but for that you need to be present. I want you to cultivate presence from now on. Be present in everything you do, and before you react or respond to something, become totally present and imagine, see reality for what it is. That is an illusion, and you choose. So you choose how to react to people and things. That's your greatest skill. That's your greatest power, to never react. Just keep your calm regardless of the event, regardless of what you fucked up, and just go through it, man. Why would you make something bigger than what it is? The reaction must match the event. And of course, if it's not a life or death event, then why would you struggle? Why would you overreact? So that's the other side of the balance. In the first place, what you want is to take a pause, take a step back and observe how things are working. What's the flow of events going like? What reality is trying to teach you? What was your vibration in the past? Ask yourself that. And then from there, from this position, if we know we have infinite choices, then we gotta choose something new, a new course of action. And that can mean lowering your resistance and simply choosing how to respond, what kind of direction to go, from the smallest decisions to the biggest ones. That's how I see things, and I want you to cultivate the self-awareness we're talking about here. So the criterion for a set path lies in attention and intention. Count on that. And to cultivate the two, become present. That's your hack in this game. That's what you must do from now on. Become present. Whenever you have to decide, choose. And just go with the path of least resistance toward your goal and visualize the process, not the end goal. At times, you must visualize the end goal. I must make a note here, but make sure you're involved in the visualization. But during the day, throughout the day, visualize the process as being completed. Don't jump straight to the end. Look at the current progress you're now making. Point number 2, the conflict between heart and mind. The mind will always try to sort things out and complicate things. The heart will simply take the simplest solution. This is a big one because you need to understand how to deal with the conflict between heart and mind. The mind is the logical assumption. It runs by perception, but the heart just knows. That's the ultimate quality of the heart. You can rely on it, on your gut feeling, on how it feels when you take a decision. This is your secret of living a better life and taking the optimal experiences for yourself. Most people ignore the heart because they can't see the linearity of events from A follow B, follow C, and so on, right? And given the nature of the logic, people stop when they can't see how to make something happen. But this is run by making things happen. The logic and your mind is run by making things happen in your own way with your two hands. But the heart connects to the quantum field, or the layer of perfection we're surrounded by, where all ideas reside and the collective consciousness as well resides. And it simply takes what it wants from there and is not concerned with the how. The reality will wrap around you when you love something so much, when you live with the feeling. But of course, we've forgotten about this, but that shouldn't be something to stop you to work with your heart from now on more. And in life, it's always good to find simple solutions to complicated problems. Point number 3, choose with your heart because it can collapse time-space and create synchronicities. Your heart is an energy modulator and acts further than the quantum field, and it has unknown systems for this ability. The heart is a very powerful receiver and transmitter at the same time. Again, you gotta count on it. It has an electromagnetic field that's being studied still, and you don't have to know everything if you really want to change yourself. Just go through life like as a dreamer. That's the secret. That's how you make the most of your life. Try to start feeling with your heart. See what feels good inside you, and you go from there. That's the best bit I can tell you in this video, right? It knows. It simply knows. It's far smarter than your logical mind, because your mind cannot even explain itself. That's how bad it is. It knows and it has the logic and it's good, but the mind lacks the ability to make things happen. And I'm talking about synchronicities, right? One man works hard and the other simply enjoys. This guy expects money, expects abundance, expects health, and the poor guy expects a crust of bread. It all stems in the mind. That's the secret. That's what you gotta do. Tune in there. Tune to how you feel. And if you do this, something amazing will happen. People will treat you differently. But it's not about people, it's how you react and how you go through life. You will have a certain presence when you work with your heart, when you choose with your heart, when you do what feels good for you. When you smile despite the obstacles. When you take this attitude in life, new doors will open for you and you will achieve your goal faster because you are rippling the quantum field, which I know is more than a quantum field out there, but this is just what we know, with our limited knowledge, with our limited perception. But number 3, success is what you want in life. Point number 1, there is a solution for any situation. Your heart knows it. Be present, decide, and see how it feels. This is the compass to your goal. This is the crucial knowledge you need to understand here. There is a solution for any problem, and that solution is simpler than you think. All you have to do is to detach, is to simply be present, or become present, right? This is how you get to see the situation for what it is from outside. You have an outsider's perspective. Because when you're in the box, you can't really see what's the solution. Okay, you've created it, but what's the solution? You gotta step outside. To do that, simply detach and simply switch perspectives. See how certain figures, certain key people you admire would deal with that problem the best way. And you will have loads of solutions coming in your mind. Some could be easy to implement, some could be hard, but the solution is there. When you don't know what to do, how to do it, just do something. Do what feels good precisely. At times you gotta do what's right despite the feeling good, right? Despite the feelings. That's what a man should do. But don't let that stop you from choosing with your heart the right thing, because you can. Because the feeling is the compass to your goal. That's the fundamental you need to understand here at this point. Right, again, the feeling, that's what you need, the feeling mind. Point number 2, there is no such thing as failure. It's only the course correct on your path, and act with your heart and do your best to achieve your goal. It's important to do your best in everything you do. When you don't know something, go and seek it. Go find it out, understand it, and become it. And try to feel it. Because once you know how something feels, it's yours. The understanding, the knowledge, the experience, it's all yours. So do your best. When you don't know, find out and become the best, right? And again, there is no such thing as failure. When you do your best, you succeed through failure, through defeats, through temporary setbacks. It's all part of the game. Nobody at the top succeeded first attempt. Even Lincoln failed multiple times. If you read about Elon Musk, if you read about certain figures, you will see they had loads of failures and they were just on the brink of failure, complete disaster with their own companies and all that. But they succeeded. It's part of the game. Sometimes some people say the universe is testing you. I don't believe that, but it could be, right? You never know. But I just don't like to see it that way. I don't like to be tested, in a way, by the universe, by something I trust. It's just that it's asking you, are you ready or not? Are you sure about this or not? That's not a test. That's a true discerning, factor in everything that happens between you and your goal. That's how I see it, right? So any failure is just the course correct. After every failure, you rise higher. It will always be like that in relationships, in business, in everything, right? When you lose something, you gain something else. It will always be like that. And you will all the time become better and improve yourself year by year. Point number 3, employ intuition and come up with a plan that feels good and right for you. Do not copy ideas, but proven sales blueprints. Here we touch a bit onto the business dynamic of things, because you need to understand marketing and sales and to obviously post content if you're not doing it, or be where your target audience, where your customers are. And you simply do this because that's who you are. You can become a teacher, you can become somebody who's providing value for people, right? But when you do this, make sure you get the acknowledgement of your intuition if what you do is the right thing to do for you, right? And when you do, of course, you got to come up with that plan and then take the feeling of your gut feeling or your intuition and see what that tells you. That's the thing you need to do. When you don't know what to do, just do the closest thing to you, right? Even Wallace D. Waters said that you cannot advance to a new level if you don't do everything you can with what you have at your current plane of existence. And we're talking about business here, and obviously evolution and all that, skill development, talent. If you master this principle, number 3, you will achieve incredible success in your life. Even me studying Earl Nightingale and all my coffee shops, I've learned so much in this journey, and it helped me so much, bro. I'm telling you, intuition is the basis of it all, man. You will feel the fire, the spark and everything in you. That's how you change yourself fundamentally forever, right? Once you know it, you cannot forget it unless you doomed by fear. And that's a whole new story. You got to get rid of it by being closer to yourself, right? You got to get rid of fear if you have it, because you can't have your intuition if your fear is there. No, you got to jump on the other side of the balance. If we have fear here, a sea, a deep black sea of fear, and you want courage and to be more in connection to your intuition, you got to jump off the sea into your, into feeling good and harmony, respecting the law of balance we've talked about at the beginning of this video. That's how you get rid of it. Point number 4, waking up. This is the most important point in the video. Without it, there is no change taking place, or if there is, it's random or not yours. So do not dream your way through life. Be present and do what is right for you. Be present and pretend. Get an observer role. Be an actor in your everyday life, but dream big and focus on the process. And this is the craziest bit of advice I can give in this whole video. I mean the second one, but still is one of the biggest. You gotta be a detached operator. You gotta detach yourself of everything and simply treat everything like business, no feelings. You only use feelings when you guide yourself, but never fall prey to emotions or other people's energy systems or other people's energy dynamic. That's the best way to put it. Because people can be different, but you, the way you conduct yourself through life has to be unique only to you. And when you do that, listen, just bear with me. When you do that, you gotta listen to yourself, not to other people. You can let yourself have feelings for certain people, but have a timer on those, right? If you want to empathize, if you want to get closer to somebody and you want to listen better to their story, to their problems or something, that's fine, you can do it, but have a timer on how long you stay in this position, right? If it's not helpful, if it's negative, just simply let them do whatever they have to do and then do you. Go back to yourself. Don't be faced by what happens in the world. And yes, this is how you wake up. Be faced by yourself. You gotta learn how to manage yourself and to work with the law of balance in the universe. And obviously with the cause and effect. That's the most important bit you need to understand. The law of balance and the law of cause and effect. And to make use of these laws, again, I repeat myself because repetition has power underneath. Wake up, bro. Wake up right now. At times during the day and before something happens, or when you have to respond to something, to a request, somebody asks something of you, or you have to take a decision, simply wake up, become present, right? Become the spirit in the body, because you're not your body, right? Become the fundamental energy behind your body. That's connected to the quantum field, and obviously through your heart is done. And as soon as you have that feeling, the power, the strength, you can try it even now, right? Become present, super present, hyper present. From there, you can decide the next target, the next goal. How do I go from there? How do I achieve here? If this door is closed, how do I open the other one? And amazingly, that door will open itself when one closes. But it only does this when you enter this presence, the state, right? Becoming hyper aware. Yes, I'm here. I'm recording the video. I'm drinking my coffee. Very nice. And yeah, I like what I do. What's the next thing after this? Oh, right. Deliver value. You see, this is the first impulse I have, the first feeling. This is what the feeling mind says to me. And I obviously do it because I train myself to become present and free flow with life. You see, I have no script. I only have just a few bullet points. That's enough for me. And that's how you should live life. Free flow. Free flow. That's the best way to do it. Free flow. Free flow your way through life. And in the process, choose, right? Don't try to make things happen. Let things happen to you. But in this process, you don't change anyone. You just choose. That's the beauty. That's the process, right? I'm done here. If you want to work with me, I'm available at the moment of uploading this video. And I'll see you in the next videos. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.